welcome to our second video. Today, myself, Samantha, and
Desiree,
we're going to talk a little bit about how to choose a technician. It's a very important subject, and some of our clients do so much due diligence and they do a ton of research and they come to us and they know all of our credentialing, and it's amazing. I'm always so impressed when our clients come like that. And then there's others that don't even really know that I've been doing permanent makeup for as long as I have, or my background in nursing, or Desiree's extensive apprenticeship and our master certifications. So I think it's important that we address this subject.
absolutely. We see a lot of corrective work come to us because people didn't ask a few simple questions. So today we kind of just want to go over a few of those questions. We have 4 for you that are really important. Let's just start with the first 2 and we'll work our way from there.
Okay.
All right, so the first question you should always ask is, how many years experience do you have doing permanent makeup? And that's a pretty important place to start, but also, what's your training?
So I feel like part of our job in the industry is to educate people. There's a lot of people that don't know that in certain states the rules are very different. So each state has different regulations. Some of them have none, some of them have very minimal, and some of them are quite extensive. But to educate you, to at least do your research and find out. I think many of our clients just assume there's an extensive apprenticeship or extensive schooling to be able to work this close to someone's eye or put something permanent in someone's face. But the fact is there isn't. In Wisconsin, where Desiree and I practice, the only requirement is to have a tattoo license, which is essentially sending money to the state, and then you can set up shop, and you have to get an establishment license, which is an inspection of your area to make sure that your area is clean, and a couple other things that the state requires. They don't require things like infection control, kind of important, bloodborne pathogen training, very important, color theory, basic beauty, understanding of beauty techniques or cosmetic techniques. None of that's required. So you can essentially find the instruments you need on Amazon or eBay. You don't need to have the schooling. You pay the state, and then you decide to start working on people. It's an interesting philosophy that somebody would feel confident to do that, but it's happening all the time now.
It really is, and especially with the cheap equipment you can get online, it's a little bit scary. I know in California they have to have bloodborne pathogen training, and I know we have bloodborne pathogen training, but in the state of Wisconsin you don't need any.
It's not required at all.
No.
So that's why that question is really, really important. How long have you been doing this, and what is your training?
Also, microblading training, a lot of courses are only 3 days, so that's not a very long period of time to understand skin depth, color theory, difference between ethnicities and their skin depth and what they need.
Pain control, that's one thing we hear a lot of, and it's one of the most frequently asked questions is, will it hurt? Well, that depends on the technician you go to. So again, this is an important subject to ask. What do you use for pain control? How do your clients rate their pain during their procedure? If you have a referral from somebody, I think it's very helpful. Somebody you know and trust has had a good experience and tells you that there was very little pain, they're happy with their result, they have a long-term effect that they're happy with. It's really important.
Very important. Also, continuing education is a pretty important question to ask about. Do you have continuing education? Do you keep updated? Because this is such a new and changing industry that over the years, so much has changed. I saw a client the other day who went to a technician that had 20 years of experience, but performed a very outdated and dangerous procedure on her because she didn't keep up with continuing education.
Yeah, microblading is a great example of that because it's all the rage right now. All the celebrities are getting it, and everybody wants those nice, full, beautiful eyebrows, which is awesome, and we love to do that. But because it's so easy to get the materials, and you watch a YouTube and you think, oh, oh, it's just scratching and putting ink in. But the difference between that millimeter of depth, what we call the sweet spot, is huge. And the difference for you as a client is, will you have a beautiful, healed, hair-like looking stroke, or will you have a blurred, discolored mess that might be difficult to remove or color correct? So all of these things are things that take time to learn, which is exactly why Desiree did such a long apprenticeship with me before she even worked on people. It's very important to understand that this isn't something you learn overnight.
Also, it's important to make sure that your technician isn't just doing this part-time or as a side job. I'm not saying that that is necessarily a bad thing. I'm saying that full-time gives you more experience. So Samantha and myself do anywhere from 40 to 60 procedures a month. Not a week.
Yeah.
40 to 60 procedures a month, which allows us a lot of time, a lot of hands-on experience, and we see different things every day. We have a lot of experience dealing with different people, different skin types, and how to handle that.
So I guess one of the things I just want to hit home to anyone watching this video is make sure that you're not just going by before and after photos on their website or something on a brochure, because those can be taken off of the internet by anybody. It's not necessarily that technician's work. Make sure you're not basing your decision on price. It's your face and it's permanent. Yes, it does fade, but you could be stuck with what that technician does with you for a year or 2 years or even longer if they go too deep. Make sure you do your research, find out what kind of education they have, continuing education, initial education, and how many procedures and how long they've been doing this. That's kind of the recap of what's the most important. If you have any questions for Desiree and I, we'd be glad to talk with you. You can reach out to us either by texting us, Instagram, Facebook, email, give us a call, come on in and see us. We'd love to answer your questions.
Absolutely, and if you're not in our area and you're watching this, a good technician will always be more than willing to sit down and talk with you.
So with that, we'd like to sign off.
Have a beautiful day.
Have a beautiful day.